Welcome back, and all of you are postgraduate students, no? MSc, you are final year. You are in MSc final year, and you may be having different specialization, no? Which specialization we are doing? Agroforestry also is specialization is there. Agroforestry, one of the specialization we are doing, and any other specializations? Okay, forest utilization, agroforest, forest resource management, tree building, four specializations. Okay, and all are MSc, BSc forestry only. From some are from horticulture also. No, no, not they are not eligible. Only for BSc forestry graduates are eligible. Okay, that is good. And our institute ICFRE has announced some scientist post. I think those who have passed out, your seniors, so you inform them to apply for scientist B posts. Okay, they are applying. Okay, not yet passed out. Nobody has. Okay, then you will get next time. You will get chance. And yeah, you can do PhD after completing your MSc. You can
Pathology and tree production, tree improvement is there. Biotechnology also, I think.
yeah, yeah. I think there are many fields are there, entomology and other.
Entomology is
Uh,
there,
um,
biotechnology is there, tree improvement is there, pathology is there. Last time Suraj tree improvement or pathology, he joined under Patnaik sir. He is working on red sanders. First year is completed PhD. So this year I think pathology one post and the another post also they given notification for IFB especially. So you check the website regularly, ICFRE website. You will get the details.
okay, then you can. I think many of you will become scientists and academicians. And if you do not become scientist, academician, or IFS officer, also there is a lot of scope for working in private sector also. That's what you can. Your field, there is demand for your field also in private sector also. A lot of wood based industries is there. They will take observe you as managers. And there is IAFM also. You can do IAFM, you can do management course also, and their direct placement will be there. And that is there. And coming to this agroforestry, I think you are already well aware of this topic. Next, and this agroforestry definitions, I think you are known to you. We will go through it briefly, and we will have a overview of agroforestry systems, and then we will have a agroforestry agro based industries overview, and then how we can establish linkages, and how there is what are the uh, various issues in agroforestry sector, that we will discuss. Because I am from forestry background, what are the issues in marketing or in other aspects, we will discuss. And before that, we will go, have a brief review of agroforestry systems, even though you are aware, but we will go through it. And this agroforestry definitions, basically it is a combination of agriculture crops and forestry tree species, and sometimes animals also you cultivate together. That constitutes agroforestry. And this is not a new technique. This is a old method. Many taungia cultivation and other basically the shifting cultivation is also kind of this agroforestry mixed cultivation method. And this FAO has defined some, given some definition. So you can go through it. And next, you know these benefits of agroforestry, these environmental benefits, economic benefits, and social benefits. Um, Environmental benefits are now there are many. Apart from economic benefits, environmental benefits are important. The government of India is also stressing on increasing tree cover outside the forest area, notified forest area. Notified forest area is only 22% in Telangana, and national average is also some 21 or 22% only. And there is, as per global norms, there should be one third of land area should be under forest cover or tree cover. That means 33% should be under forest or tree cover. With that intention, the government of India is also promoting agroforestry to increase tree cover. In last state of forest report published by Forest Survey of India, there was a very good increase in tree cover outside forest areas. That's why our slightly forest area has increased, and this has necessary. This is necessary. We are signatory to international conventions. As you know, that UNFCC, you must have heard about Earth Summit. 1992, there was a Earth Summit was held in Brazil, Rio de Janeiro, and there was a convention. Treaty was signed. United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. The treaty was signed, and every year all the parties to the conference, this they call COP, Conference of Parties meetings are held every year in different countries. COP 12 meeting was held in Hyderabad, and they will decide how to what is the strategy. They will decide. Recently, Paris Agreement was also made, and there was a international level also. These polluting industries, they should reduce their carbon emissions, and carbon sequestration has to be done through afforestation and other means, and reduce emissions. This is the basic concept of UNFCC treaty, and in the Paris Agreement also. And if you generate carbon credits by carbon sequestration and by reducing carbon emissions, those carbon credits can be traded at global level. Those polluting companies, they will buy carbon credits, and in India also, there is evolving a mechanism to trade carbon credits, and at international level through exchanges. And in agroforestry as a lot of scope for uh, carbon sequestration and generating carbon credits. And carbon credits individually it cannot be certified, but on a large scale, if you produce carbon credits, 1 ton of carbon dioxide sequestered constitute one carbon credit that can be sold in international market, and that will generate some revenue. And in India also, there was a mechanism is being devised. International level, there are many exchanges for trading carbon credits. Singapore Carbon Exchange, New York Carbon Exchange, Gold Standard, like that many international carbon exchange are there. In India also, under Ministry of Environment and Forest, there is one NCCF, uh, National uh, Center for this certification of forest, that also dealing with carbon credit certification. For carbon credit, it is not a direct commodity, it is an derivative commodity, and only by certificate it will derive value. Only carbon credits are certified. Some certifying agency should be there. That NCCF is uh, designated as certifying agency for carbon credits. And once carbon credits are certified, they you will be issued certificates. Some these many carbon credits you have generated by carbon sequestration. Then those carbon certificates credits can be traded through some exchange. International exchanges are there in India also. There is National Commodity Derivatives Exchange, NCDEX they call. That is the online platform for selling carbon credits. That is just like a stock exchange. It is registered with Bombay Stock Exchange, National Stock Exchange, this NCDEX, and where you can register your carbon credits, and that can be traded. This is the basic mechanism for trading carbon credits. Because why I am telling this, environmental benefits, what environmental benefits we will get by growing trees and generating carbon credits by carbon sequestration. And this in India is also it is possible, since, even though it is since inception stage, and you can produce carbon credits, and at a large scale, and you can go for trading also, carbon credit trading, that mechanism. And environmental benefits, a lot of environmental benefits are there: carbon sequestration, reducing pollution, and maintaining environmental balance, and the protection of eco, and soil and moisture conservation, and soil erosion prevention, and nutrient recycling. There's a lot of environmental benefits are there. And apart from economic benefits, you will generate good revenue. Since morning deputy director was telling that there was a lot of good income generation for farmers through agroforestry, adopting tree species in their farmlands. And these are because these commercial trees, they will fetch good incomes rather than traditional crops, horticulture crops, or agriculture crops. By adopting commercial trees like teak, they have a lot of demand, not only in Indian market, international market also. There is a scope for getting good remuneration. Apart from that, the social benefits in village level. This because of this poor incomes of farmers, and they are unable to come out of their subsistence level of farming. Because of this, if some income, additional surplus income is generated, they can better invest, and they can better uh, commercialize their, market their products and get additional incomes. There are a lot of social benefits are there. These are the general benefits of agroforestry, and India is the pioneer in agroforestry. And even though there is an international center for this agroforestry research at Kenya, Nairobi, there, and in India also there is John Sevan Agroforestry Research Institute is there, and India has devised this its agroforestry policy in 2014 itself, and under Ministry of Agriculture is the nodal ministry for implementing agroforestry. And basically it also says this: we have to promote agroforestry for various reasons. This it's the national forest policy, agroforestry policy also stresses its basic objectives to encourage and expand plantation, basically increasing tree cover, stabilize ecosystems. And this in the morning also we were discussing the agroforestry. They will supply raw materials to wood-based industries. That is the criteria, because in forest areas the working has been stopped. Very timber is not harvested in large scale nowadays. We are only conserving tree forests, natural forests, and we are not producing much. Only there is a scope for uh, generating raw materials, especially these wood-based industries. Uh, Timber requirements can be fulfilled from agroforestry, and but its policy also they are liberalizing. This, a lot of rules were there, restrictions were there. Earlier this royalty species, timber species were there. The teak and other royalty species, they were not permitted to cultivate and sell. And now the, as per agroforestry policy, and there was a mission or board is created under Ministry of Agriculture, National Mission for Agriculture, Agroforestry. One board is created, and they are funding also some uh, for conducting research on agroforestry. And this agroforestry policy also stresses for liberalizing this uh, transit rules. Even now we are in many states they are liberalized this transit. They have excluded from this transit system. Now many tree species they can be traded without, within the state or outside state without transit pass also. Many species have been exempted now, and farmers also permitted to cultivate too. Because in I worked in Arunachal Pradesh. What the farmers do, they will come to, before going for plantation, they will come to DFO. They will apply for registration for plantation. If they will measure the area, they will give GPS reading of the plantation, and how many seedlings they have planted, what kind of species, tree species they have planted. With all these details along with map and along with survey number, they will come to DFO and apply for registration their plantation. Their plantation is registered, teak plantation or any other commercial tree plantation, that is registered with forest department. Once if it is registered, some registration number is issued, and while harvesting there won't be any problem. By showing that registration certificate, they can fell their trees and they can sell. This is the basic concept. And new policy of government of India, wood based industries policy also, they have stressed for registration of these private plantations. And some, in some areas from private plantations also play around. Apart from plantation trees, natural plantations are also there, natural forests also there with private people. They also can be worked. And it is not like that only conservation, but private plantations they can be worked out. And as per rules, government Supreme Court in 1996 in Godavarman case, they have imposed ban on green felling. But you can fell with proper working plan, preparing working plan, and it has to be taken approval from Ministry of Environment and Forest. And by taking approval from Ministry of Environment and Forest, and even Forest Department also do working of forestry species as per the working plan prescription. But in case of private plantation, what they will do, even there also they have to take permission from forest department. And for private plantations also, forest department prepares a working scheme, that is called working scheme. Working scheme prepares by forest department, and it has to be approved by Ministry of Environment and Forest regional officer. Then after of getting approval, they can fell the plant their private plantation. They can private to planted trees or the natural trees also they can fell it, but they have to, there should be some rehabilitation plan also. By felling, you should not live like that. You have to go for again replanting, then only it will be allowed. That will be inbuilt in the forest working scheme, that has to be uh, filled. But this national mission for agroforestry, they are also working on various for promoting um, tree planting outside agroforestry tree plantations, and for marketing and trade, and linking with wood-based industries, and liberalizing this transportation transit liberalization. All these things they are working on agroforestry species. And this regulatory mechanism also they have simplified, and a lot of tree species in many states they have exempted from transit paths, and they are investing on research and development also. In institutes like ICFRE, they are uh, doing research on agroforestry, and they are working in farmers fields, and a lot of extension activities also taking place for promoting agroforestry. Even state governments as well as central government also promoting. Many research institutes also working on ICR, ICFRE, other institutes they are working on improving quality planting material. For this tree crops, quality planting material is very essential. Whether you go for clonal plantation or seedling plantation or any other uh, superior quality planting material is required. For that, our research institutes are also working for producing superior clones, and agriculture universities they have developed a lot of tree clones for this casuarina, eucalyptus, poplar, and other tree species under the guidance of this agroforestry mission. They were developing many and promoting this cultivation of superior high yielding fast growing species also required. And there should be these are basically meant for wood biomass. More biomass should be produced in a limited time period. Generally the forest tree species they are having long gestation period, but we have to reduce the gestation period also, and farmer can't keep for many years. And this it should be maximum 10 years they can hold their capital. By you can't invest more, no, but they are getting subsidy also. Lot of many agencies they are subsidizing that and under this regulatory mechanism they are given some guidelines, but subsidy from government is less. But many industries they can give some input costs, then the farmer can actively take up agroforestry tree species. And national forest policy, uh, and I think you must have gone through. But this agroforestry systems you must have studied. There are various different combinations of agroforestry models. They are classified, but you have to select such a model which is suitable for your area region. It is the choice of the farmer, and which tree species is suitable and which model is suitable, that they have to decide. There are various agroforestry models and systems classified, and some of these they are, I think you are aware, but we will go through it. Structural classification based on nature of components, based on arrangement of components, and based on nature of components, and this presence of tree species, based on dominance of tree species, there are various models. Agro silviculture, in this both crops and trees are there. Silvipastoral, in this tree species will be there, fodder species will be there, animals will be there. Agro silvipastoral, in this crops are the dominant pasture, and animals also grazed, and trees will be there. Others multi-purpose uh, tree species will also be cultivated, like apiculture will also be integrated into this agroforestry models. Aquaculture can be integrated, and based on the dominance of the components, and silvi agriculture. In this silvi tree species is the dominant and agriculture crop is the less dominant. It is called silvi agriculture. Agro silviculture. In this agriculture crop is the dominant component, and tree species is the less dominant secondary. And silvi pasture. In this tree species is the important tree crop, and pasture and that fodder species is the secondary importance, that is it. And pastoral silviculture. In this, mainly this model is adapted for pasture, grazing cattle or sheep, but simultaneously trees are also grown in agri silvi pasture. In this, agriculture crop is the main crop, but in the lean season, and it can be used as a pasture for grazing, and simultaneously the forest tree species also grown, and the tree species may be for fodder species also. And silvi agro pasture. In this, tree species is important. Next to important species is the agriculture crop, and third important is the pasture, that fodder species, and that is one type of classification. And the next type of classification based on arrangement of components. In this, uh, there is two types, three types are the classification is there. Spatial arrangement means on the land area space, different combinations can be allotted. That is spatial arrangement. Based on the space they are classified, and based on temporal sequence, based on time period, different periods different crops are grown. That is called temporal sequence. And third is vertical classification. Sometimes the different stories are there, no, inside the forest. They're based on that also they are classified. And under spatial arrangement, mixed dense, mixed sparse, strip plantation, boundary plantation, all these things can be done. But in agriculture crops, most of these things are not suitable. Boundary plantation is mostly suitable. Sometimes strip plantation also adopted, and sometimes mixed sparse plantation adopted along with agriculture and tree species. And mixed dense. Sometimes crop species are very less, but tree species will be in dense. This is the spatial arrangement for agroforestry models. And based on temporal or time period sequence. In this also then coincident sometimes under the forestry tree species, tea coffee plantations under shade will be grown. That is coincident. Sometimes tea, sometimes coffee may be cultivated concomitant. In this, and example, the Tangya cultivation. In this, agriculture crop is the main crop, but simultaneously some forest tree species also they will be planted in certain period. And when this Tangya plantation tree species grows, they will trim the plantation to give sunlight to the crop. And this is the concomitant type of agroforestry model. Intermittent, sometimes intermittently, some multi-purpose trees are grown inside the crop plantation, and interpolated, and sometimes some mixed plantation will be grown, and overlapping also, and sometimes separate plantation. And these are the temporal sequence model, agroforestry model. Sometimes vertical stratification of components. Third component is vertical stratification. Sometimes single layered, single story tree plantation, double layer. Sometimes only from short to uh, plants, and along with tall canopy plantations will be grown. And sometimes multi-layered uh, models will be there. Some short um, and some long grown, because the bole clear sometimes grows tall. Some are shrubs and bushes. Such kind of combinations also and adopted under vertical stratification models. And functional classification also there. Under functional classification, productive agroforestry systems, protective agroforestry systems are classified under functional. Productive agroforestry systems, they are meant for production of timber as well as agriculture crops. Under protective agroforestry systems, they are meant for protection of tree crops. Because in Rajasthan area, crops are protected by wind breaks, because wind is a major problem. To stop wind and to stop sand dunes, and wind breaks plantations are made. Protection agroforestry system under. In shelter belt, sometimes to protect from cyclones and other, shelter belt plantations also made. Sometimes for where rainfall is heavy, for conserving soil conservation also, these agroforestry systems can be adopted along the bunds or some. And for moisture conservation also, sometimes tree species are grown. They will conserve moisture. And for soil improvement also, because their nutrient recycling will be there with tree species and this agroforestry tree species. For and for sometimes some crops need shade also, because tea and coffee they need shade. Because for that reason, some first they will plant tree species, then they go for coffee tea plantation, because they grow produce better under shade only. These are the functional classification. And under socio-economic classification, subsistence agriculture forestry systems. Subsistence means only small landholders they adopt for this subsistence agroforestry systems. And commercial agroforestry systems, some large scale production can be adopted. If land holding is more, they go for commercial agroforestry system. And intermediate agroforestry systems can also be adopted where land holding is considerable size. And next, going for socio-economic agroforestry systems, based on management, their intensity of management systems, extensively managed or intensively managed, uh, they can be adopted. Wherever it is required, extensive management or intensive management interventions are required. Such systems are also adopted. On the basis of technology, sometimes low technology, sometimes uh, high technology can be adopted. Next, where technology is required, because superior clones can be used. Tissue culture biotechnology methods can be applied for sometimes tissue culture plantations also there, wherever sometimes clonal plantations they are adopted. Sometimes very low technology locally available seedlings can be planted. These are the based on technology. And classification based on utilization of land Land availability decides the agroforestry model. Homestead agroforestry, forest land agroforestry, crop farm agroforestry, fish farm agroforestry, animal farm forestry, poultry farm forestry, dairy farm forestry, and cattle farm forestry, goat farm forestry, integrated farm forestry, or roadside agroforestry. These are the based on the land availability. You can adopt these kind of uh, uh, agroforestry models. And ecological classification also, if it is in tropical area, tropical agroforestry, subtropical agroforestry model, temperate agroforestry model, subalpine agroforestry model, alpine models, you can adopt based on ecological uh, conditions. And ecological classification also include wet, moist, dry. These are the different tree combinations you can adopt. And these are the basic about this. We have reviewed about agroforestry models. And coming to wood-based industries in India, there are many types of wood-based industries. And we and what kind of wood-based industry you select, and that depends on the availability of raw material, as well as the various other conditions you can take. But in Western UP, Punjab, Haryana, where this plywood industries are developed, like in this Telangana, Maharashtra region, some pulp wood industries are developed. And it basically it is availability of raw material is the basic criteria. And we can go through different kinds of wood-based industries. And what are the raw material required? uh, Pulp and paper industries, if we go, if we take up, and there is a lot of demand for paper, but raw material is very scarce. There is a lot of scope for um, taking up this pulp and paper industries if raw material is available. There is a lot of shortage of raw material for pulp and paper industries. They are recycling and paper and using, still there is scarcity in for pulp and paper industries. Raw material is inadequate. It is not sufficient to feed our pulp and paper industries. And there is a lot of scope for increasing production in pulp and paper industries, provided this raw material is increased. Basically, the pulp and paper industries, they are consuming bamboo, casuarina, eucalyptus, lucina, acacia, and poplar. These are the important tree species. They are consumed by pulp and paper industries. But we can adapt by adopting these agroforestry models, and these kind of tree species can be taken up, and we can then we can promote of this paper industries. And the match industries also, most of the match industries are located in Tamil Nadu, because the raw material is available there. The major match wood species include Ailanthus excelsa, because the softwood species are required for match industries. Ailanthus excelsa, Albigia, Ailanthus tripilla, Albigia lebec, Anthocephalus cadamba, and Erythrina indica, poplar. All these softwood tree species are used by match industries. And there is a scope for in other states also apart from Tamil Nadu for promoting match industries. Match industries, they have good market in domestic as international market, and by taking up these plantation species, there is scope for taking up match industries. Apart from that, in India, sawn timber also there is demand. Uh, Not only secondary timber, direct timber is directly consumed. We are importing timber, and a lot of timber species we can promote in under agroforestry. And many sawmills are working, because timber furniture, it fetches more uh, price. The timber and sawnwood industries, the major timber species, teak, terminalia, alvigia, melina, and pterocarpus, autocarpus, dalbergia, dipterocarpus, and other species they can be taken up. And nowadays mahogany also they are cultivating in under agroforestry models, different bund planting or strip planting or wherever. This direct timber species also can be taken up in agroforestry, and these are mainly consumed by sawmills. And for direct even furniture industries, they need sawn timber. Apart from that, this plywood industries are the major plywood industries. They are generally in northern belt. They are located in Bangalore. Also, there are lot of plywood industries are there. In Telangana, there are not many plywood industries. Are the plywood industries are not there, but there is a scope. There is a market for veneers. Veneers are used for making plywoods. If we go from cultivation of poplar, melia, paulonia, eucalyptus, ailanthus, and other species, any other species, anything they can make veneer, especially this softwood tree species, uh, because they need veneers, and veneers can be made and they can be supplied to plywood industries, and they will make plywoods. And that plywood requires some core and face. Face should be having better grains, and core they can use any kind of veneer. And plywood industries, even from the northeast, they are making veneers and sending to Bangalore for making these plywoods and other uh, engineered wood making, because they are stronger as natural wood, these plywoods also. and they are making even stronger also. This engineered wood, they are used for this construction industry as well as for furniture industry. Apart from that, this particle board also important component of wood. Particle board industries are also they are also because these we should not waste any wood. This particle board they use all kinds of wood. Even they use wood waste also. Sawdust also can be used for making uh, this particle boards. And pine needles also can be used. Casuarina needles and agriculture residues are can be used for making particle boards. But they are not as strong as plywood. But particle board also wherever partitions and other packing materials they can be used. And apart from particle board, fiber board industries also working. They also need raw material. Fiber board industries they can consume uh, any kind of wood material. Apart from that, this even we can generate power from biomass. Many dendrobiomass. Dendro means wood. Dendrobiomass power generation industries are also there. Any wood material, any plant material, they can be after combustion, they can be made produce gas or uh, liquid gas, and they can make power generation also. They can many species of uh, plant species they can be taken up under agroforestry model and used for power generation industries like Prosopis, Acacia, Albigia, Dalbergia, Lucena, Casuarina, Eucalyptus, Glycidia, Cisalpina, and other species they can be used under agroforestry model. They can be cultivated and used for this biomass power generation industries. Apart from that, biodiesel is also importantly promoted by government of India. Many biodiesel plantations, that Jetropa plantations, they have made, and many areas in Chhattisgarh and other areas they are working biodiesel industries, and they extract oil from seed and other plant parts. They make biodiesel also. It is because we are importing oil from other countries. In India, there is very less production of natural fossil fuels, and this biodiesel can be used as substitute for other fossil fuels. And this is also because it is a renewable energy source. Biodiesel is a promising because nowadays this fossil fuel costs have gone up. Now under 10 rupees per liter petrol, and if we make biodiesel with less cost, that will be good for our economy. No, we are a lot of spending on foreign exchange is spent because this Sri Lanka, because lack of foreign exchange, their economy totally collapsed. They are unable to buy petrol also. Even leave about officers, even ministers also they can't to they have kept to their cars idle because they can't import. No, without foreign exchange you can't to import diesel, and you have to generate your own fuel for your. Otherwise, your own economy will collapse. Your whole economy will become stagnant if you don't have fuel or energy power. And biodiesel is important to one of the because we can renew it. Our forest resources are renewable energy resources, and there should be you should technology has to be developed because a lot of forest residues are wasted, and they can be used. Even some of countries, even these pine needles, even wood chips, they make into briquettes, pellets, and they use in power generators for generating power. Such technologies they are adopting for power generation. And these are the basically lot of wood based industries we have discussed overview. Scope for different kind of wood based industries under agroforestry models. You can take up different wood based industries. And uh, and for selecting wood based industry also, you can't establish any industry at anywhere. That will become loss. Investor will not come, no, simply. There should be some basic infrastructure and availability of raw material, availability of labor, availability of power, availability of transport facilities, availability of marketing facilities. If these things are available, then only the investor will come and establish wood-based industries. Simply, they will not come and spend their money. No, they will not come. And for that also, we have to produce. First, we have to generate some. Because for establishing any industry, basically two kinds of factors will decide: geographical factors and non-geographical factors. Under geographical factors, basically this raw materials. Wherever coal is available, they will go. Steel plants are located. Thermal power stations are located where coal is available. That is essential for them. And because the Singareni called, the coal is available, Ramagundam thermal power station, Kottagudem thermal power station, they have established. If coal is not available at Singareni coal mines, why they will establish Ramagundam thermal power station in this Kottagudem thermal power station? Like that, if you want to establish paper industry, pulpwood industry, or plywood industry, there should be raw material. Why all plywood industries are located in Ganga Nagar, Yamuna Nagar in Haryana? Because their agroforestry they are producing. There is no forest at all in Haryana area, Ganga Nagar, Yamuna Nagar area. But all plywood industries are there. 90% of plywood is supplied from Haryana, this Ganga Nagar, Yamuna Nagar area. Because the farmers produce agroforestry material and that supply raw material to their plywood industries. But in Telangana, if we want to promote and the plywood industries, basically we have to produce raw materials. Raw material is the basic requirement for establishment of any industry, not only any other agroforestry. Suppose jute mills are located in West Bengal because jute is produced there. But if you want to establish a sugar mill, simply nobody will invest, no? And you have to grow sugar cane first. You have to give some substitute farmers to cultivate sugar cane first. Then farmers cultivate sugar cane. Then the entrepreneur and industrialist will come and establish sugar molasses industry there. Like that, if you want to any wood-based industry has to come, you have to produce some raw material. For that, you have to motivate farmers to cultivate some agroforestry crops, so that some industrialist will come and invest and open his wood-based industry. And power is also essential. Even by if raw material only is available, then the industry will not work. No, power is required. Power is the basic requirement for any wood-based industry or any other industry to run machines. And then only it. And apart from power, labor is also required. Where labor is shortage, then the industries will not be established. There should be uh, labor availability. Cheap labor is the important criteria. Many other developed countries they come and invest in African countries and in India. Why they will come? Because we are cheap labor is available. In their country, it is the labor wages are more, and wherever labor intensive industries are established in India and Africa and other Asian countries, because cheap labor is the available here, and the cost of production will be reduced, and labor is also important criteria for establishment of labor. And without unions, and these labor laws should be liberal. And transport facilities, any industry if you want to establish any wood-based industry, so proper transport facilities will be there. If raw material is available in Kottagudem or other area, but there is no transport facility, how they will transport their plywoods if they establish there? There should be proper road connectivity. Then only the industrialist will come and invest. And apart from transport, market is also required. And all many industries are established along the ports. Wherever port facility is there, the industries, because they easily, the Visakhapatnam steel plant, like that, the port is there, that's why they are established. And apart from raw material, and this transport facility is also required for export to, or for import of raw material and export of their produce or marketing. And market is also required. Why China and other, they search for markets in Africa and Asian countries, USA? Without market, their industries will be closed. And sometimes they, for running their industries, they dump their products in third world countries. Even their cost of production may be more, but they sell for less price. Why? Because they want to monopolize their product. and the market is required. Without market, the industries will not survive. And even some Japan like country, they subsidize some countries and they will sell their product to maintain their market. There is a lot of competition for markets because the developed countries, they have to sell their products, no? And for that reason, market is also required. Even domestic market or foreign market, when there is market is there for products, then only the industries will produce. For agroforestry market, there is no doubt that there is a domestic market is there, international market also. They will get good price for all wood-based industries. Market is there, but raw material is shortage. Agroforestry industries and water supply is also required for paper pulp industry. Without water, you can't produce because there are many stages the pulp will pass through, and it is washed many times, and so that they will produce white paper. Water is also important factor for deciding establishing a locating a wood based industries. And site is also required. Site and climate. And why Telangana many industries are coming nowadays, because the climate is suitable. People can work throughout the year, and the climate is suitable for all round the year. And in some countries like Canada, 6 months there will be snow cover, there won't be any life. In Siberia there won't be any life for 6 months snow cover. If such harsh climate is there, nobody will uh, be willing to establish. But if climate is also important factor for deciding establishment of any industry. And these are the basic geographical factors important for establishing any wood-based industries. Apart from geographical factors, for establishing any wood-based industry or any other agro-based industry, non-geographical factors also constitute, because capital is required. Nobody will invest their own money. Some capital they will generate from by inviting shares. Companies, how they will generate? They will not to uh, spend their private monies. They invite to they generate fund from public by shares or stocks. They will issue IPOs. They will issue shares stocks, and they will generate revenues from their shares and stocks from public. They are called public limited companies or private limited companies. They register with companies. They register their company under Companies Act, and they will be listed with stock exchange, Bombay Stock Exchange or National Stock Exchange. And then they will issue shares or stocks, and those shares or stocks all public will buy, and those funds they will invest in establishing their industry. And like that, capital generation is important. If some banks also fund, sometimes public sector banks fund. If there is a capital is available, the investor will come and establish industries. And government policies are also important. Why people are inviting the industry, Telangana government or any government, Andhra Pradesh government, why they are facilitating special economic zones opening, and they are allotting lands and inviting investors to establish their industries. And their single window permission system they are opening, because if the rules are strict, no industrialist will come and invest their money and establish their uh, industry. There should be government policy should be friendly with industrialists. Then only they will come and invest. For agroforestry industries also, the same principle will apply. If government policies are liberal, the permission system is easy, and then the industrialist will come and establish their firm. And industrial inertia, sometimes people will not willing to come. Wherever they are, they will, even though here better facilities are there. Traditionally some industries are located in some Mumbai or some Gujarat, somewhere. Those business people, they want to stay there only, they will not come. Even though here better raw material is available, better policies are there, better power supply is there, better land order is there, some industrial inertia will be there. For that, we have to request them to come here. Then only they will come and establish. Uh, Earlier, some industries used to be, uh, Kolkata used to be the commercial capital, but many, because of this communist policies or whatever you may say, Many industries they have winded up because of unfriendly policies of government. Such if such condition is there, the industries will not be thrive there is. And efficient organization for organization of the industries also should be efficient uh, to establish industries, and banking facilities should be there. Even for trading, the banking facilities are required. If nowadays online banking facilities, but there should be proper even uh, what the raw materials they were while procuring some credit should be given. If credit facilities are there, then the industrialists or farmers they will grow agroforestry species, and the industrialists also they procure raw materials and they establish industries. Insurance facilities also important, even for this wood based industries as well as for farmers. Insurance facilities also required for their establishing their industries. These are the basically factors deciding uh, establishment of any industries, wood-based industries or agroforestry-based industries. And apart from that, there should be proper linkage between industries and agriculture. And because in India there is a lot of farmers, they produce many agriculture produce, but industries, uh, many industries are agro-based industries only. Whether food processing industries, whether manufacturing industries, whether processing value addition industries, all these industries are based on agriculture. uh, but there should be proper linkage, and linkage means what? Farmer produce raw material and who will buy, that should be decided. Whether suppose if jute is produced by farmer, and that should be purchased by some industry for and if sugar cane is produced by some farmer, that should be procured by some industry. And if cotton is produced by some farmer, some industry, cotton textile industry, they should procure. Otherwise the farmer will not produce. And this industry people also, if no farmer is willing to supply, they will not invest no lot of money, crores of rupees they establishing their industry for ginning industry or processing industry, and they will not industry. There should be proper linkage. If there is assured supply of raw material, then only industrialist will come and establish their industry, even plywood industry, whatever industry you name. Because most of the raw materials are produced by farmers, and most of the industries, processing industries, and they depend on farmers only. Then there should be proper linkage. And in agriculture products too, because they are sold on future contract basis, because the farmer now cultivate, assuming that some farmer will buy after 6 months or 1 year, uh, and by the time the market rates may collapse, such things should not be happen. Suppose if a farmer produce 100 quintals of cotton, now market price is 5,000 rupees. But by the time farmer produces, what the rate may go up to 1,000 only. It may, unless farmer gets 4,000 per quintal, he will not get any profit, and he should get at least minimum 4,000 rupees to get his whatever input cost he has put. And after 6 months it is uncertain, and the industrial people also. But today the cotton is available, and after 6 months this whether this farmer will supply to them, or if other area, if there is more price, he may supply to other area, other other states or other firms. Then the industry will also be in uncertainty. For that there is a forward contract act has been made. For that the industrialist and farmer can they make an agreement. This is called future market or forward contract act. Under this, they will make contract today, but goods will be delivered after 6 months. Suppose a farmer may enter into contract with industrialist, assuring that he will supply some 100 quintals of cotton to some industry at the price of 5,000 rupees per quintal. But if you fail to supply, But suppose if the market rate increases to 6,000 rupees after 6 months, then what the farmer will do? Whether he has to supply to that industry at 5,000 rupees or 6,000 rupees, he can sell at 6,000 rupees. But if he made an agreement with industry, he can sell in the market, but he has to pay 1,000 rupees, 6,000 rupees to industry person. This is this is what the Forward Contract Act says. It will not be guided by Indian Contract Act. It is only called Forward Contract Act. It is a future trading, and this future tradings are made through this multi commodity exchange and national commodity derivative exchange. There also, because the value is derived in future, now not. And these kind of linkages are required for even for agroforest industries also. There should be some agreement between the farmers and the even farmers also need capital. How they will where they will get credit for growing cotton or sugar cane or jute or any agroforestry pulpwood species, casuarine or eucalyptus. If they want to grow, some input cost is required, some credit is required, but no bank will give. But if we made an agreement with some industry, the industry can supply some credit input, and the farmer can grow the raw material, and in future he will supply after uh, harvesting. He will he can supply to wood based industry or on other industry, and this kind of linkage should be established for between agriculture farmer and the industry people for promoting this agroforestry tree species. And farmers also, they need good quality material, and who will supply good quality material? Like superior clones are required, superior clones for buying also, and some who will produce superior clones. Suppose if that this Bhadrachalam paper mills, they are supplying superior clones, they have their own plantations, and they are entering into contract with farmers. They are supplying superior clones to the farmers and motivating them to grow those superior clones, so that get they will get better raw material, good quality raw material to them. Otherwise farmers will go for inferior quality plantations. If they grow inferior quality plantations, the industry will also lose, no, they will get only inferior quality raw material. And for that, somebody has to invest. Both the farmer is a can't invest on his own single, but if industry, they can gather some farmers and they can supply to all. Even this industries need uniform quality raw material. If farmers grow a different type of raw material, that may not be suitable for the industry. For that reason, industries will supply uniform quality raw material, seed material or planting material, so that they will get a uniform quality, and that the time period also required. And if the industry wants raw material for at different levels, they can ask farmers to cultivate at different time periods, so that get they will get assured planting material throughout the year, or at different time intervals. But if all farmers cultivate at the same time, raw material is flooded, and the capacity of the industry will be limited. That will not serve the purpose, no? And if all farmers supply at a time, the industry can't process all the material at a time. And for that reason, the industry should make an agreement with the farmer, so that the different farmers will supply raw material at different time periods. And these kind of linkages should be established between industry people and the farmers. Next. Next. These are the things I am explaining, and next, let's skip it. Next. Okay, we will skip this. Next. Here you can show. And uh, and this is the thing I am explaining, because industry and agriculture, they are mutually dependent on each other, and the quantity of raw material produced by farmer is used by industrialist for manufacturing a product, and Q1 Q2 this indicate the quantity of raw material produced by a farmer, and the manufacturing industry also, they produce their goods M1 M2, and this is the labor is a constant, and there should be a balance between the quantity of material produced by the farmer and the goods produced by the industry, and this kind of balance is required between the agroforestry industry and the farmers. And with this I will close it, and then next speaker will deliver. I will. Okay, thank you very much. I will join in the